So this was a topic of discussion before, but now after what Nara said during the 20th anniversary Q&A, it seems a lot more likely that we could actually get like a separate segment, maybe even a game or something of some sorts down the line, revolving around the story of Subject X, which would also revolve a lot around Aiza, Lee, and what they were doing during that time period in Birth by Sleep. When asked how did Aiza receive the scar on his face, and also why is it in the form of the Rakusen sigil, Nara would respond with, good question. There's a story with Lee and Aiza and the girl they were trying to rescue. Stay tuned for the future. Now, this is very obvious to some. Of course, there's a story behind this. This is something they talked about in Kingdom Hearts 3, new lore that we got kind of introduced to us, but made sense based off of what we saw in Birth by Sleep, which is something a lot of people weren't questioning too much. Why exactly were they trying to get inside of Ansem's castle and whatnot, but we got reasoning for that in KH3. And now, as we're on to phase 2, it is time for the story to be told. Now, a lot of people figure Subject X to be Scold, and this is just through a process of deduction based off of the little bit of info we know about Subject X. Black hair, female, remembers 4 friends and the key. There's a couple of other mix-up possibilities, like it could be some random girl from Quadratum, but when you add in the info that this is a girl from the land of fairy tales, it's way harder to think of anyone but Scold for the girl. And now with Strelitzia being in Quadratum, who was a slight other possibility some people theorized, it's just even more likely to be Scold. So Subject X is most likely Scold until confirmed otherwise, 99.9%, but that 0.1% could be a lot for Kingdom Hearts. I've always fantasized, ever since hearing about this for the past 3 years since I saw that cutscene in KH3, like maybe some sort of stealth-like Kingdom Hearts game or segment where we're sneaking around Ansem's castle, sneaking into like the cell area, the cages where she is held, kind of similar to how Kairi was being held in that similar area in KH2, somewhere like that, seeing Aiza and Lee like in the dark, just sneaking around trying to talk to her, learn more about her, comfort her a little bit. And I'm sure Lee and Aiza are very oblivious to the importance of this girl, who she is. I'm sure now as they've gotten older, they've thought about it a lot more, but I think there's a really heartfelt story behind this, probably very tragic as well, I'd imagine. We know that they were apprentices at one point. They actually became apprentices at a certain point. We don't know exactly for how long, but that's kind of how they ended up being in the organization. They got wrapped up in being Ansem's apprentices around the same time the organization formed, and they became nobodies along with everyone else. So during that time where they actually were apprentices, it's possible they actually saw some of the experiments that they were doing on her. So there's a possibility here for a really dark and traumatic Kingdom Hearts story to be told. And that X on Saix's forehead, ever since I've heard about Subject X, and then I think of the X on Saix's forehead, which I'm glad the interviewer here asked this question, or well, I think this is a fan question actually. I'm glad one of the fans asked this question. It could be some like major connection, maybe like right before Subject X disappeared. Maybe she knew that she was going to disappear at some point, and that X is some secret way to find her, or maybe it's some weird memory thing so that Aiza never forgets, or maybe it's something Aiza did to himself so he would never forget about Subject X, never forget about her. As it's clear that Aiza is probably going to be the main one moving the storyline forward. Though of course Lee cares about the girl as well. It's clear that Aiza joined the organization, even stayed in the organization after everything in KH2 due to this fact. But now I think that Aiza realizes that if he's going to find this girl, he should do it on the right side of things. Not with the organization, not with Xehanort, even though they do have the info, they know some stuff, but rather with his best friend Lee and try to push things forward that way. Maybe the Kilos, maybe the Guardians of Light could figure out something that they have spent most of their lives as nobodies not being able to figure out. But this is a very interesting story that they could definitely tell in the future. I don't actually think it's going to get a separate game. That's just me, thinking about the peak possibilities, but I definitely think we could get like a segment, maybe a playable segment that's like stealth-like with these characters. It'll be something new for Kingdom Hearts, but also something that I think a lot of people will be immersed into and probably appreciate a ton. And from the way Nomura answered this question, I get the vibe that whatever is being planned for them is already written out. It's probably a major thing going on in KH4. Subject X, we'll probably find out who she is. Maybe that's the big mystery behind KH4, aside from getting Sora back to the realm of light. Maybe the other mystery is who Subject X is. But that will about do it for today. I just want to make a short video talking about this. This was a part of the 20th anniversary interview that I really found interesting. Let me know some of your thoughts down below. How exactly do you think Saix got that scar on his face? Did he do it himself? Did Subject X do it? Is it a possible way of finding her, tracking her? But if you enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share this video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking